Welcome back everyone. This is a Marin Team Titanium 1992, pretty much brand new. So you're not dreaming, it's not deja vu, we're building another 90s superbike. Let's go. So it's not my bike, this is a customer's bike. It's a 300-mile round trip to get to me, another 300 when he collects it as well, for me to build it. He wasn't able to find anybody with a sort of retro passion to build this bike locally. He saw my video on the Airborne, so he thought, he'd asked me to do it. I'm very, very happy to do that. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful frame. So probably in the retro world, people have seen this frame around. It's been a bit of a show winner. At some point last year, by the looks of it, it was split down into spare parts. Customers bought a frame, and he bought me a load of new shiny bits as well to make it back into a bike. It's going to be slightly different to how it was before. Some modern parts on it, but the vast majority, probably 90%, is going to be period correct XTR, etc, etc. Before we do anything, we need to get a seat post in here so we can get it out of the clamp on the stand. Don't worry, it's only very lightly held in there. Right, seat post. This is a USC aluminium seat post from back in the day, lovely purple anodized. You'll see a lot of that on this build, that's for sure. These seat posts are all one size and then they are shimmed. This is a removable piece. You drop into the frame, 25.4 to 27.2. This isn't an original USC shim by the looks of it. I think they were much longer. I used to have one of these. And the customer says it is slipping a bit, so he's put a bit of tape in here. He hasn't ridden this bike, but even upon just building it on the stand, it's slipping. So I'm going to add some carbon paste around here and see if that's going to help matters. But yeah, the original shim was quite a bit longer than this, I seem to remember. So I'll get some paste in here and see if it'll hold a bit better. Finish line fibre grip, just your normal sort of standard paste. Get it down here. And this is a shim within the frame as well itself, by the looks of it. Yeah, it is, yeah. So double shimmed. So hopefully it's not this piece here that's rotating. When it goes down to about here, then it obviously opens up to a different size, so that won't do anything. So a Ringley seat clamp. Never have worked out how to pronounce that. Ringle or Ringley? I think it's Ringley. Oh, so clamp that in. Obviously that's very, very loose at the moment. Oh, it's pretty damn tight. I can't see that moving, but we won't know if it's tight until we get it all finished and on the ground. I can twist the saddle with some load. But for now, let's see how that goes. So this frame is, I believe, brand new. I think it has been built a couple of times for show, but there's literally not a mark on it. It's absolutely immaculate. Beautiful finish here with the raw tie, and then they've gone to a polished finish here. Really, really nicely done. Perfect. Such a nice frame. I'd have been very, very tempted with this if this was available when I bought my Airborne, but honestly, I think I kind of prefer mine. So headset cups are already in, so I'm not going to take those out. There's no point. Genuine Chris King headset on this one. Got to get a fork in here, and this is where the controversy might start. I'll show you what we got. Just before we do that, the customer's basic idea behind this is to replicate his old 92 race bike, which was a Marin Team Titanium. He used to ride with a rigid fork, as you do in 91, 92, so we're fitting a rigid fork to this. Originally, he ordered a Pace RC30, which is a fantastic fork. Unfortunately, it's very, very badly pitted, corroded. So he's gone for a more modern alternative. Still a very, very nice fork, but don't freak out. This is an Exotica fork made by Carbon Cycles CC. Around about 2007, I think this one is. I've got one of these as well. I keep meaning to put it on something, but it's a very, very lightweight fork. Carbon legs, aluminium steerer. Doesn't weigh much, let me tell you. I think it's actually going to look quite nice. The stickers really transform it, so let's get this measured up, chopped down, get it fitted. Your crown race. I've got a big box of bits here. I've got to find the rest of it. Your crown race first. Get this tapped on. This is a good fit, that's for sure. Wow. It ain't going on there like that. Interesting. So I'm going to heat this up and see if I can just get it to drop over the first little bit, because it just won't drop over the first ledge. It's got a good taper on there, but it's not going to go on there. So I'm going to get this nice and warm. Hopefully that'll be enough just to drop it on. It's already been fitted to something. I can see marks where it's been taken off, but I don't think it was this fork. I'll go for a split race. Change of noise, says at the bottom. There you go. Could use a freezer spray on this, however, you need some grease on here, and they're not going to mix too well, so just drop that in now. Go for a dry fit first, otherwise it's getting dust stuck to the grease. Add in just one spacer at the moment. If it's too long, you can always chop it down. You can't add it back on. Customer's already fitted the bar into this. It's an Ansa Hyperlight bar into a Syncross cattle prod stem. It's super tight. I've taken the bolts out and this bar ain't moving, so it's staying in there for the purposes of this. I'll get this on and we can get it marked up. Just got to be careful how you're going to cut this, because obviously we're at an angle, so just be careful. Just need to work out how to cut this, because obviously we've got a steep angle on here. The bolt's way down here, so as long as you're above that bolt, which we certainly will be, we'll be okay. But we're not just going to cut it flush with that. It's an unusual steerer to cut because we've got to accommodate this as well down here. So rather than cutting it flush with the top, we've got to accommodate this and then still leave space to tension the headset. So I'm cutting around about 7mm off here. Like I say, the bolt's down here, so you're miles away from the actual bolt, but because of this, it's slightly different to most, so I'll get that chopped down, and hopefully that's right. I've got a spare fork, don't worry. And you can see that there's a top mark there, which is the top of the stem, just over the top of the stem, and there's the cut mark there, which is about 7.5mm lower. It should work out just right. Let's get cutting. Just deburr that. So internal and external deburring. And that's in there. Right, let's go for another dry fit now. And that looks good. You can't see any of the bolt there, so obviously way above that. And this should just drop down here. Obviously make sure this is loose so we can tension this headset. We are going to take it apart, put some grease in it, don't worry. It feels good. Nice. Right, that's good. I'll take it out, get some grease in there, button this up. Yeah, it looks nice there. Looks really nice. Obviously all sealed bearings, but really just a little bit of weather protection, but being a Chris King, they're pretty damn good as they are. This can go in. I'll put the O-ring back in here now with some grease so it'll actually slide over here. Then the one spacer we put in there, like I say, if it's too high, which is highly unlikely, you can always chop a bit off, but you can't put it back on. I mean you can, if you pull Brody you can, but I can't. It can go on. These are pretty hard to get hold of now, so if you've got a few of these kicking around, get them on eBay. Set the headset now. That feels really good. I can see from here to the centre of the fork, that looks pretty damn good to me. I will check it when we get the wheel in, but I'm pretty confident that is going to be pretty much perfect. There's no torque settings on these, so put these bolts back in. Must have been a nightmare to get it in. I can't get this out. I mean, what you can do is reverse these bolts and put a coin in between it and it'll splay it open, but there's really no need, so I don't want to stress the aluminium. When I was building mine up, I wanted to buy the bar, but the guy took off, there's used to say Hyperlite here. I'll show you a picture, but he debadged it. Don't know how he did it, but otherwise I'd have bought it for mine, 100%. Love a bit of neon, and a lot of neon on this bike. It feels beautiful. I'll do the bottom bracket next. I'll say this bike should actually come together pretty quickly. Everything's new, everything's externally routed. It's got some anti-seize paste in here. Threads look perfect condition. So this is an MRC titanium bottom bracket. Some spaces in here. No lock rings, it basically just screws in and locks itself in by the looks of it. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. I've just gone for a dry test fit on this. There seems to be a spacer missing in the middle because clearly that ain't going to work like that. Both these cups are basically bottomed out now. So it looks like there should be a spacer in there, another one. There is some spacers in there, but it looks like there should be another one, so that's interesting. Clearly that's not going to work like that, so either I can find another spacer, or we're going to have to just put a normal bottom bracket in there for now to get it away, and the customer can source another one at a later date, because that ain't going to work like that. Let's take it out again. It is obviously a 68mm shell. There's nothing on the internet. It's MRC. I thought that was McMahon Racing, but I can't find anything. I'll have another look in a minute. It basically comes out, and then you've got all these spaces in here on the axle. So to me, these spaces here, it looks like there should be another gold one, because that's pretty much how much play there is. Sit on the other side of this circlip, so that looks like that is missing. I'm not sure I'm going to have anything that will do the job for that. Potentially a bearing race might do it at a push. Let me measure a bearing, see if that would do it. Double bearings in here. Right, if I can find a 6903 bearing and use the centre sleeve, it might get us away. Let's have a look. So this gold spacer is near enough 7mm. 6903, it's pretty much exactly the same, so it should work really well actually. I'm thinking about it, I don't think I even need to take the bearing apart. I can just put it in there as a bearing, can't I? It'll just float on the axle, so that'll work like that as the original gold spacer and a red one. A 6903 bearing and a red one. This measures the same as that, so that should work. And that'll fit in there without interfering with anything. So if you put this in here and crush it, it will just split that outer race and we'll just be left with that. Just to save a couple of grams. Make sure you cover that, because that is going to go bang. Like that. So let's just crack that outer race now. Like so. So that'll drop in there and get spaced up. I guess some anti-seize on these cups now. So aluminium and titanium. Obviously we're going to need some sort of anti-seize on there. Otherwise you're going to have a bad day when you want to get it back out. Using Duralac on here. This is a Marine anti-seize agent. By all accounts, this is your best bet. I can't imagine how bad seizing problems are in marine maintenance. Oh my God, must be a nightmare, guys. I feel sorry for you. salt water. Oh my god, no thanks. It should work. It'll definitely work, don't worry. And just wind it in carefully with your peg spanners. I was going to set that flush and then put the other one in. Let's see where we're at. So that's got rid of that float, so we can basically adjust the chain line from here, because obviously this is protruding a little bit. I'm sure there should be a lock ring on this. It just seems a crazy design. I know there's other ones out there that do the same thing. But can't say I'm a fan. Like any other bottom bracket, you're going to adjust the preload on this one here. And clearly there's nothing just to stop this coming loose, so I'm calling the lock ring missing as well. It's a problem buying used parts, isn't it? It must have a lock ring, there's just no way that's staying in. Correct me if I'm wrong, but... And you still get this clicking. This does not look right at all. This is proving to be a proper pain. This is what I actually think. There's 2 bearings in this drive side cup. There's only 1 bearing in this non-drive side cup. And it looks like there used to be another one. So what I'm thinking is there should be 2 bearings in each side, which means you won't need this spacer then. And then see how it fits, because at the moment it's just doing weird things. Chain line's way off on one side. It will fit, but it just doesn't feel right. So I'm going to pull this and see if I can get another bearing in there, then see how it sits without this spacer. And you can see there's a lip there where it looks like there used to be another bearing, which is now missing. So I'm going to press another bearing into there and see if it behaves. At this rate, it'll be getting just a bog standard bottom bracket to... The guy wants to use this at the weekend. So I'm going to put another bearing in. Right, I've now got 2 bearings in there. Took that spacer out. See how it sits now. I still think it needs a lock ring on this side there, because what's going to stop it falling out? You can't just keep going in like this. Just nonsense. Right, so that's in, and it's got rid of that clicking left to right with that extra bearing. That feels much better. However, I just don't get this left-hand cup. I just don't see what's going to stop it from coming out. Bit of a weird one. Maybe it's supposed to be Loctited. Anyway, I'm going to put a lock ring on this one because it just got to have one. Surely. If I was a customer, I'd be getting a XTR bottom bracket for this square taper. Right, I'm not happy with this at all. I just can't get it centered. Obviously you can move this wherever you want. I'm pretty sure they should have a lock ring. There's literally no instructions out there for this particular MRC bottom bracket that I can find. You'll get them without lock rings, but they normally have a very solid center sleeve where they butt against each other. This doesn't really have that. It has the 2 cups, but they don't meet. So it's a bit weird. So I think what I'm going to do is take this out and put a bog standard bottom bracket in there at the moment, just to get the bike away, or get it running basically. Speak to the customer. I've still got time to get one ordered in, because I'm just not happy with this. It does still rock side to side, and if you go any tighter than that, it just binds up and just feels horrible. So yeah, it's a very strange design. Maybe I'm missing something here, but I can't get that to where I want it to be fitted properly. It needs to come over this way a fraction. But that means this left-hand cup is going to be sort of 3mm deep into the frame, and this one's going to be hanging out, and it just, I don't know, it's just weird. So yeah, MRC BB gun. There's nothing stopping this unscrewing on this side now, unless you use Loctite, which clearly you don't really want to do. He's not impressed, it's raining. They want you to Loctite it in apparently. It feels a bit sketchy. I believe this is the right way now. I had a bit of a play with it off camera. That's the best I can get it to go. So yeah, they want you to Loctite this in. This right-hand cup, there's no lock ring, there's no flange for it to butt against. It'll just keep going if you want it to. So you can adjust the chain line basically of the bottom bracket to where you want it, and then rely on the Loctite to hold it in place, which feels very sketchy to me, but that's what the instructions say, that's what it's going to get. So there's no grease in there, that's all cleaned up, and we're going in with some Loctite. It just feels so wrong to me. I'll be honest, I've been messing around with this for probably best part of an hour off camera to find out how it's supposed to go, and this is allegedly the right way. Loctite this is only a medium strength. I don't use red or anything daft, so it will come out, and it should also help prevent seizing as well, because there's obviously a barrier between the aluminium and titanium. So in theory it'll work. Can't say I'm super comfortable doing it. So that'll just keep going. Like I say, I can keep going and going and going. As far as Marin have threaded the bottom bracket shell, we'll just keep threading in. Like I say, I've had a go with this, and it needs to be just ever so slightly recessed on this side, and then the other side just keeps going until it stops. Take the preload out, let the Loctite dry. That's basically set there. You can, like I say, you can just set the preload, set the chain line, whatever you want to do with it, and then we're relying on Loctite to stop it unscrewing. Literally nothing stopping this unscrewing apart from the Loctite now. He doesn't know how to do it either. Obviously with the bottom bracket you need some cranks, so we have XTR M900 cranks are used. The rings I believe are brand new, with some shiny aluminium bolts. Nice. So we'll get these on. Putting a very, very light coating of grease on these. He also supplied SRP aluminium crank bolts. So I'm going to use these, but I'm going to torque the crank down with a steel bolt first, take it out and then put this in. I don't want to put full torque through an aluminium bolt, that's just crazy. And that's what we used to do in the 90s, we used to compromise so many things just to save a few grams, and this bottom bracket seems to be a prime example of that. Form over function, or weight saving over function. So I've got good clearance on the chainstay and the seat stay, so that's nice. Like I say, I'm still far from convinced about this bottom bracket. That's tight. I'm not sure this is going to tighten before it fouls on the bottom bracket cup, that's my issue. So I thought that might happen. I've tightened that down. Before it's reached torque, this basically the crank is bottomed out against this cup here. It's just, wow, this is one stupid bottom bracket, honestly. Oh, it's got to come off again. I'll take it off again. This is probably the third or fourth time I've done this. I'm just not happy with it. It's not tight yet because it bottomed out, basically. So I need to work out a way of pulling this taper through a couple of millimeters from the other side, potentially by jiggling those spacers around. The axle appears to be 1 millimeter difference in length, left to right. It's not marked left to right, but it does measure where the circlip is in the middle, millimeter difference. So I'm just going to keep persevering with this until I can get the balance right. Could use PTFE tape, that might actually be a better shout than Loctite. Gives me a physical barrier then for seizing. My main concern is these aluminium cups seizing into titanium. So removing the cups isn't going to actually change how much axle's protruding from this one here. That's not the issue. The issue is there's not enough taper. There's a 109 bottom bracket, so this crank should work on a 107. So it should work, okay. That's more to do with the clearance on the chain, on the stays itself really, but it should still fit. Honestly, this bottom bracket, I should have took 2 minutes. I've been on this at least an hour and a half now, off camera, trying to work out how it's supposed to go. So this will come out, I don't need to take the other side out, then you've got all these spacers. There's 2 bearings in each cup, so I need to work out a way of getting this side a millimetre longer. Then flip the axle around where it's 1 millimetre longer. Will it work? I'm pretty sure that will foul on the chainstay though, but I can pull this cup out. If I leave it like that now, the rings will foul on the chainstay, but I can back this out, which is what it's designed to do. Don't like this, guys. Don't like this bottom bracket. So if I leave that flush with the frame there, give this a bit of a dry fit. Obviously it's going to pull itself in, but still feels a bit tight there. Left hand crank will definitely work. It looks like clearance for the chainstay looks okay. Let me see if I can torque it. Obviously that's going to pull onto the taper now, so we're just going to, wow, that crank is super close to the chainstay. Yeah, that's too close. As soon as I torque that down, any pressure on there, you're going to be rubbing on the chainstay, so that's not going to work either. Literally not one single piece of information on the internet about this bottom bracket. Not one. AI is the only thing that comes up with anything, and you know how much half of that's normally wrong. Running out of options on this one. I mean, I can wind this out even more. I've got thread on this side, and that will fix that problem. But I still think that this here is going to bottom out on this cup before it gets to torque. I don't like this Loctite either, this is scaring me. In fact, I think I'm just going to take this out. I'm literally not happy with one single aspect of this bottom bracket. Not at all. It's coming out, don't like it, don't trust it, don't like that at all. It's just Loctite in there, don't worry, it'll come out. So for now, it's getting a very cheap and cheerful normal bottom bracket. Just so we can get the bike built up, and I'll speak to the customer about options because we can't use it other things. I just don't trust it at all. Can't believe this has took best part of 2 hours already, and we're still not done. And the whole bike done by now. This is a very cheap bottom bracket. I'll speak to the customer, see if he wants to order something a bit nicer. That is on. They're on. I'm not going to use these aluminium bolts either. I just don't trust them. Sorry, but I'll stay where it is. I'm going to check my edit, but that's at least 3 hours. I think I've been messing around with that bottom bracket. Absolutely outrageous. I think it used to be Allen key bolts on this, didn't it? Thinking about it. Yeah, it did, didn't it? It used to be Allen key bolts. These things. What we're using instead. They're not XTR bolts, but good luck finding them. Right. Hopefully, should be a lot more straightforward now. That was an absolute nightmare. So I've got front mech on here. Allegedly this is new old stock, but it's got a few marks on it, I think, but maybe display, but it's in very, very nice condition, don't get me wrong. Very good. M900. That's even the right size, that's a bonus. I'll get that set properly, that's parallel, and that's a good height there, so that's nice. Shiny. Still can't get over that bottom bracket. Right, that looks good. And again, M900 rear derailleur. Pretty good condition, not new by any stretch of the imagination, but pretty tidy. A bit of grease on here as well. Okay, brakes, what we got? I don't even know what we've got. We're perfectly honest, I've not opened the bag yet. Anyway, we need some grease on here. I'm sure they'll be nice. Whatever's in here. It looks to me like some 952 XTR V-brakes. And it is. Good. They look in good condition as well. Very nice. There's a front brake. This is the rear. What's in the middle hole there? What's in the middle one there? It looks to me he's put some new pads in here as well, which is nice. Get these bolted on. I've only seen 3 bolts so far. I'm hoping there's another one. Finest V-brakes ever made. Beautiful things, and they work so well, honestly. The ones I put on mine are just phenomenal. Right, nice. I found the bolt, don't panic. That's in the middle one. So is that. I think that bottom bracket's traumatised me, I'm not gonna lie. So what is going on with this thing? I don't recommend them, guys, don't recommend them at all. You want something nice like that and get a Royce, they're very, very nice. I'm sure there's people out there that've got them and rave about them, and that's fine. But like I say, I'm all about reliability and functionality rather than a couple of grams. He says with his same bike hanging on the wall. Right, there on. Get some fingerprints out of the way before we continue. Such amazing condition. This is absolutely immaculate. Well, I can't even imagine it's been refinished because it's such a clean transition there. It's fantastic. I just think this fork looks really nice. The stickers transform it really. Right, let's continue. You might remember this from the Airborne. Customers decided it would suit his bike quite nicely, so might be better there maybe. A slightly different colour, so I think I'll put it on the seat tube there. And titanium bolts to fit those as well. Yes, you could save a bit of weight with aluminium, but tie on tie. Come on, guys. Actually, it won't clear the front mech without spacers, so it'll have to go on the down tube like it used to. Okay, let's get some shifters. Just put these caps on temporarily to stop it swinging around and smacking into the top tube, because it will. So we've got some XT units for this. Again, not looked at these. 8-speed XT. Guessing these are brand new. It's got a label on them. Not bad. Who remembers these? Onza Porky Paws. Classic grip from back in the day. Brand new as well. Get these fitted. This is going to be colourful. I've just told the customer he can't have his fancy button bracket. He's just messaging me now. That is colourful. Get these up. I've got to be honest, I'm not sure I'm convinced. With the neon yellow and purple, I'm not sure. Them levelled up there. Very nice shifters these are, very nice. You can tell it's raining, they're all in here trying to help. Anyway, certainly looking very colourful, that's for sure. Look at these wheels next, I think, get those in, and then we can basically set the brakes, cable her up. And there's not much to do on these, but like I say, very, very straightforward builds these are, so except for that bloody thing. Well, I've got an issue, that grip has split really, really badly there. I guess they're 30 odd years old and it didn't like being fitted, so that is a big issue. Let me just slide on with some hairspray, but it's literally just completely destroyed. It looks like almost like melted. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Not like I don't have grips, but yeah, not ideal. Anyway, let's see if I find a solution for that. I know he is fitting bar ends, so we can chop this piece off, but yeah, that's no good. That's annoying, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, it's pretty rubbish. It's like I say, just looking at it, it's just splitting. I don't know if it's just perished over the years or something, but well, that's disappointing, that is. You've got to take this piece out to fit bar ends in here, but that's not the point, is it? Alright, I'll see what the customer wants to do. I've found another set available online, but there's no guarantee fitting those. He's not going to do exactly the same. Well, I spoke to a customer. These are coming off. We did have our doubts that they were going to last, but yeah, it's a shame. But we're going to put some black foam ones on there. Because I don't know about you guys, but personally I don't think this neon and purple's really working anyway, so maybe a blessing in disguise. So I'll get these off and get some foam grips on, and then we'll continue with the rest of it, which should be very, very straightforward now. Also, obviously spoke to him about the bottom bracket situation, and he's happy with that. He wants something that's going to be reliable and not worry it's going to unscrew itself or get seized up, or a combination of. So we'll carry on with that. Well, so looking at this, I think this bar has been painted, not refinished or anything. 22.5 millimeters this is, should be 22.2, which would explain why I can't move this bar in the stem even with the bolts completely removed. It does not want to move at all, and potentially explains why the grip's split as well. But overall, it still looks pretty good. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's happened there. That's wedge solid, that's split the grip. That's 0.3 millimeters bigger than it should be. These were quite tight getting on. and it's marking up very, very easily as if paint. So wheel wise, we've got these beautiful TNT titanium hubs on Mavic 517s. So hopefully it is a bit more functional than the bottom bracket, because these are purely designed for weight saving, that's for sure. Very nice hubs, you don't see many of these, that's for sure. Normally half of them are cracked on the flanges. This one looks okay. Again, ringle skewer on there as well. Brand new XTR cassette to go on, which is nice. So that's on there. Massive lock ring on here. Tighten that up. Right. So TP tubes on there, save just an extra few grams. And a pair of panel aces as well. Brand spanking new, these are. Nice amber walls. Pretty much your only choice now if you want sort of retro amber wall new tyres. These are amazing. In 26 inch, obviously, I'm talking about. You can get anything else, no problem, but 26, wow. Very hard to get nowadays. Pre-warn you now, there might be an issue with the chain. Apparently it's already been cut and should be long enough. We shall see. Same on the front wheel, TNT hub and a dart for the front, not a smoke. Get these on. Just before we get these wheels fitted, quick pause to say a massive thanks to Sport and Leisure for sponsoring today's video. So we all know there's nothing worse than being right in the middle of a job, only for everything to come to a grinding halt because the part you ordered from somewhere said it was in stock. It wasn't in stock, was it? It was weeks and weeks and weeks away. Trust me, I've been there. Spain.co.uk is not Spain. Apparently can be. Anyway, that's where I use Sport and Leisure. They're based right here in the UK. Stock levels are 100% live. Says it's on the shelf. It really is on the shelf, ready to go. Get your order in before 3 PM. It's dispatched the very same day with free delivery on all UK orders. Need it faster than that? £2.50 will get you it next day. Absolute bargain. It's just brilliant when you just need to crack on with it and get a bottom bracket. Also updated the channel discount scheme for you. Head over to sportandleisure.com/BCR or scan this QR code on the screen. It'll generate a 10% discount at checkout off your very first order. If you're buying parts anyway, it's an easy way to save a bit of cash. To the links in the description below. And massive thanks again to Sport and Leisure for continuing to support the channel. Right, let's get some wheels on this beauty. I hope these don't fight me. What does not weigh much at all. Wow. How durable they are, I wouldn't like to say, but well, they don't weigh much. Fairly quiet by today's standards. There's a bit of packaging out. I'll tell you what, this wheel weighs less than some road wheels, that's for sure. There's actually, is it TNT? No, there's a real hub on this one, it's not matching. Looks pretty close, but it's a different manufacturer, made by Real. Can't see that quick release doesn't sit against this fork particularly well, but it's on. Looking good. You can't beat a pair of amber wall tyres on a retro 90s bike. It looks fantastic. Some play in that front wheel, that's for sure. Crikey. Nobody hear that? I'll have to look at that later. So it says it's a 7401 Dura Ace chain. Customer told me he was told that it's already been cut and it should, quote, be long enough. So we'll see. We've only got a fairly short cage on this mech as well, so we might be pushing a luck. But he also assures me he will never be in big. So as long as we can get away with that, we'll be okay. Just drop it in small and see how it looks. Certainly can't trim it, we're just hoping it's long enough. Customer's hoping it's long enough. So small. To be honest, it looks plausible. Let's get it joined, see how it goes. Somebody was asking me where I got this from the other day and I couldn't find it, and then eventually he found it on eBay. A couple of people make them in the end. They're very useful for stuff like this where you just clip the chain together while you're working on it. It's just a spring really. So according to Shimano's tech documents for dealers, you should be pushing this pin in from that side. How much difference it makes, I don't know, but it certainly makes it more difficult to join, that's for sure. You spin it down here, you get a bit of space on it. They don't really use these anymore, they still use them on 10 speed. Everything else has gone to a quick link obviously. So you push it through until you feel it drop into another gap. You'll feel it. Keep going. Very slowly. Right, I can feel that, it just eases off there. And you just snap the end of that pin off with your chain tool as well. Like that. Check you don't have any stiff links, because if you do, you just need to free that off with your chain tool. That is a stiff link there, you can see that. Second set of plates on this chain tool will just flex that open and get rid of it. Quarter of a turn, not even that, eighth of a turn like that. Just flex that open ever so slightly, and that gets rid of it. Right, that looks okay, actually, it looks plausible. Need to get some gear cables on here now, and then we can see how it's going to go. limits, tweak them first. On there for high, that looks pretty good. Looks pretty good where it is actually, so I'm going to just fine tune that later. I'm going to put these pedals on now so I've got something to actually hold on to. And we've got some modern pedals. So we've got Hope pedals, clipless pedals, more purple. Very nice. Brand new. Get these in, plenty of grease on these. Don't forget, grease or anti-seize. No pedal washers supplied, so we're not getting fitted. Right. They actually look really nice. Look very nice. Just got to cable her up now and then we're about done. I am genuinely still traumatised from that bottom bracket. When a 2-minute job turns into 2 hours and then it still don't work. Apparently I was told by the person who bought it from it would definitely be okay with this combination, but he must know something I don't, which is not impossible. I barely remember what I did yesterday, let alone 1992. Anyway, we're in now. Right, let's chuck some gear cables on this and then we can get it working. And I'm absolutely convinced these have been painted. That would explain, as I say, why I can't move that. And potentially why it's ripped that grip in half. But to be honest, it looks way better with black, in my opinion. Gonna go to there, obviously, and up to the shifter. You can cross them over if you want. A lot of people keep telling me off for not crossing them over. Let's cross them over, keep it away from this mint frame. So that would be to about here and about there. And obviously the other one should be exactly the same length. Through there, down to here. And we'll cross them over underneath the down tube. So this is the front derailleur cable. Well, like I say, we'll cross them over basically underneath here like this. Underneath here. Up to there. And down the rear. This is a pre-cut length. It looks pretty good actually, as it is. Maybe a tiny bit long. Or way too long, as people keep telling me. I mean, you guys do exaggerate. Right, click that lever. That wasn't in the right gear, so that's a good job I checked. And I'm going to just nip this up here and see what happens. Not far off now, thankfully, because this should have been a 2-hour job, not an all day. Just want to shift it up to here so I can set the front limit on the front derailleur. This should go up here without too much difficulty. Right, that's up. I just want to set this limit here before I connect this. Pull it out of the way when you're trying to screw it in. I ain't far off. Rubbing a tiny bit, let's back it out a little bit. Good. And just pull this through as well. Presume you go over there. I'm not sure where it goes, just take it out and you'll see. Wasn't sure if it came underneath there, but it doesn't, it just goes over that tab there. Just check, because it does make a big difference. Like about there. Nip this up there. Trim this off, don't need that bit. And trim this off, otherwise it just ends up in the spokes. While he's setting it up, let's see how this works now. I'm just going to shift it up to the middle chainring first. It should go up very easily. Drop that down to there. I'm just going to press this gear lever to seat that housing. Like that. And then go see if it shifts or not. Not one, straight away. A bit noisy. That was me. Oh, the top limit screws are a bit tight. See how it's so slammy and clunky coming down. It needs a bit more cable tension on there. It needs a lot more actually. That's up. Back down. Up. And straight up, that's good. Pretty nice coming down as well. Check these fronts. Smallest. Up there. Let's go for the big chainring. That's up as well. That goes down. That goes down. Alright, I'm going to go for big chainring and then try and go up to the big sprocket at the back. I don't think it'll make it. I've got one more to go, and it already pretty much maxed out. Go really slowly. That's not going to do that, you see. That will just basically destroy anything, but customer has said that is okay, and he is happy with that. Be it on him. I think he used to race a lot. I think he knows what he's doing when I'm using gears, and he assures me that's going to be totally fine. No big. Don't get me wrong, the system should be able to handle it. Another link would be great. However, he bought this chain pre-cut and obviously the link too short, so other than buying a new chain, he doesn't really have many options other than being careful. It's a little bit noisy somewhere. Need a bit more tension, that's why. So I'm happy with those. I'll do the brakes. One thing I just want to check is that they've tightened these chainring bolts up. Considering they're only aluminium, they are tight. Old Shimano, look, they give you proper instructions here. I'll keep banging on about it. These are instructions, tell you how to set it, etc, etc. New stuff, all they give you is health and safety warnings, an inch thick in a million languages. These are actually instructions, they're good. Don't do that anymore, all on PDF. Almost forgot end caps. However, I have neon yellow ones as well. Oh, I don't know, neon yellow or purple? Well, I'm thinking purple. Beautiful. Get these pads somewhere a bit closer than there. Oh, look at this front wheel, got a lot of play in it. There's the new bearings, yeah. That's good. Well, let's get his front brake cable in now. These are supplied genuine Shimano cables. Like so. And then noodle down to the V-brake. Cable length looks pretty good actually. Yeah, happy with that. That in there. That feels pretty good. I'll nip that up. I can just balance them out on the springs over here. Get it trimmed up. I think he's getting jealous. Too much neon. Get this trimmed up. And a bit more purple. Why not? And you can just tuck this behind that spring and it will just rest out of the way lovely. Take that spring out, hook that behind its peg, put the spring back in. Hidden forever. Good. Just need to balance it a bit. It's too much on this one and this screw is pretty much all the way in. So just unscrew that a couple of turns. A bit more. Looks a bit better. Tiny bit on the other side extra. I think this might be a bit long. Just get it trimmed down. Up to about there. Make sure you can turn your bars. Tripod's in the way. That's going to be pretty good there. I'll finish that on the grinder. And then get this into the brake, across the top tube. I think I might put some donuts on it as well. Not literal donuts, but cable donuts. Chunky one, isn't it? Whipping up, just about. Right. Just some cable donuts on the cable, just to stop it pinging on the top tube. Not convinced these make much difference, but let's get him on. Right, just space them evenly out. Keep it a bit quieter. So we've just got this piece of cable here now, about there. Put the noodle in there and just get round about there. Into there and then into the top tube stop. Looks pretty good. Nip that up on the other side. Not too tight yet, just check your lever. Too tight, see? Break that through a bit more. There you go. Feels nice. And then tighten this. Like that. Such nice tyres. I'll just trim this cable. I'll just show you again. So hold it down to around about the length of the actual brake itself. Cut that. Put the purple end cap on. And then if you unhook this spring here, you can't do this on all brakes, but when you can, try and do it. Hook the spring, hook the cable behind there while you're holding the cable. Hook this back in there. Make sure it doesn't sit on the cable. It needs to be on a separate piece. And let it go. And that's it. Completely out of the way. Again, just a little bit of a balance on that one. Need a bit more on this side if we've got it. A little less on the other side. Still too much. Great. Okay, pretty much done now apart from the saddle. So let's put that on. My least favourite job. This is going to be so fiddly, these things. Like I say, I had one of these back in the day. It wasn't my favourite thing to set up, that's for sure. I think the reason they did this one size is obviously for cost saving. It's much easier to produce shims, I guess, on one size of seat post, anodise them any colour you want and bang them out the door. And they sold a lot of these. Got another modern component choice here. So let's see what we got. Synchros saddle, it's quite nice. He's purely done it just for colour. Don't blame him, to be honest. It actually looks really nice, that does. Looks really nice. Carbon rails. This ain't gonna weigh much, is it? Just gotta be careful on the carbon rails with a clamp system on this saddle. Alright, bear with while I just get driven absolutely mental by this thing. I hate fitting saddles. I think these bolts are titanium as well, I can't remember. No, they're not. 6 pairs of hands. To be fair, I don't think this one's that bad because you can spin them out of the way, can't you? That one's in. And that one is basically in. I'll just get some tension on these like that. I'm not sure I'm going to trust this seat post on this carbon rails. I think I would have gone tie personally. He's committed now, isn't he? He is watching this video as well, by the way, guys. So be nice. I always tell you that, but there's always the odd nice person. Right, that is pretty much where it wants to be. Good. I'm going to check the instructions and see what their maximum torque rating is. Like I say, I don't want to crush this carbon. All the instructions in the world. I only want one piece of information. Look at this, wow. Okay. Well, I don't do 12 to 14 Newton meters. So I don't know how well these edges are finished on this ancient seat post. I can't see that moving, I'll be honest. Okay. She's on. Wow, that is not gripping that at all. Oh my god. Remember I said it wasn't going to grip the seat post? Flipping it, that is not gripping it. Absolutely no chance gripping that. No way. Can't possibly do this any tighter without breaking something. I was never going to grip that. Not even trying, that's moving. Right, that's no good. So I've got shim steel in various different thicknesses, so I'll just play around with this until I can get something cut and wedged in there that's actually going to hold it, because it's nowhere near gripping at the moment. So I'll come back to you when I've sorted that out. So I just made a metal shim for that, just the same as you used to do with the old Coke can trick. Put that in there, and then it should hold it in pretty well, I think. There you go, you never know. Alright, let's get that fitted. Right, that seems to have got a hold of that finally. Right, I just want to look at the bearings on this front wheel, and then I'm just going to wrap it up, because that is done. Just take this out then. So there's some preload caps on here, so potentially it's just going to be a case of loosening that and moving them in a bit board. This is a plastic shell on this top. You're not seeing things, it is actually plastic. Get this grub screw out, it's proven to be quite tight. I think that's got it. Yep. Other side, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it back in the fork like this with these loose, clamp it up, and see if that takes it out, and then nip them up in the frame. Slightly unconventional, but I think it might work. I don't think it needs much. Yeah, something moved there, you see. Still got play in it. Nope, that don't work. Let's take them out then. Take them all the way out then. Something's moving. So tiny, look at them. Wow. Right, I'll just whip that straight out there. Very basic, very, very basic. See if we've got any bearings for this, just pop them in. What size are they? Right, so these bearings are imperial sizes, R6 bearings. Obviously it's an American hub from the 90s, kind of makes sense, so I don't have those. Got them coming tomorrow. So for the meantime, I'm just going to put it back together so we can get the bike off the stand and revisit that tomorrow with some new bearings. And hopefully that'll sort it. Hopefully it's not wearing the hub, but I suppose we should check the weight, shouldn't we? Don't weigh much, that's for sure. 9.78 kilos, 21.1 pounds. Not bad. I can't remember what mine weighs, let me just check. 10.3 for mine. Damn! I've got bar ends though, so my excuse. So that's pretty much done, apart from the front wheel bearings. I'll just do that tomorrow. It's literally going to take me 2 minutes. But apart from that, everything is done. So what do we think? I think it definitely looks better with black grips, so that's kind of a blessing in disguise that those other ones broke. I'm 100% convinced this bar has been painted, which is why it doesn't fit there, which is why that doesn't fit. Hey, it still looks good, to be fair. It still looks really nice in the neon. Beautiful looking bike, really, to be honest. Very, very nice. Is it better than mine though? That's the $1 million question. I'll let you decide that one. I do try to keep the content varied, as you know, but it just depends what comes through the door. Seems to be a bit of a retro glut at the moment. Was road bikes for a few months. So we'll see what comes in next week. Got a few holidays coming, so I might miss the odd Saturday, but don't worry, I'll be back I'm just having a rest. I'm not living on my phone while I'm on holiday. It's just not right. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy it, and that's enough from me. So enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, morning, I don't know, wherever you are. Thanks for watching.